Hey there. Welcome back to the R and R Circle, where our R's stand for release and realign. In the circle, you are encouraged to unmask, reclaim, and realign. Thank you for joining us for our Aligned Choices series, where we're unlocking decision making with human design. And I am Nolitha. I am so glad that you're here. If you're joining us for the first time, don't worry. You can jump right in right here. But if you missed episode one, I highly recommend that you go back and listen because we laid the groundwork for why decision making feels so hard and how human design can help you find clarity. Today, we're diving into the big question: what is human design and how does it work? This is the foundation of everything we're going to explore in this series. So if you've been curious, even a little skeptical, I say keep an open mind and stay with me. By the end of this episode, you'll have a clear understanding of what human design is, how it came to be, and most importantly, how it can change the way you approach life and your life decisions. Before we get started, I wanted to take a little time to check in to see how everyone is doing. I know there's a lot going on around you and it can feel overwhelming. One thing I do want to suggest and offer is that you find those things that light you up, make you happy and excited so that you can ensure that you are maintaining your best self, you're arriving as your best self, and observing self care. I know here over in the Southeast United States, a couple of weeks ago, we were under a freeze. And that is something that we are not accustomed to, but we do love it for the little while that it is here. And in many cases for us, it can seem as if it is a nuisance because we shut down everything. Life for us is totally different. And during that time, a lot of people get cabin fever, and that's even after 28 or 24 or 48 hours of just being in the house. Now, one thing that I want you to understand that this release and realign circle is about is ensuring that you have ways to deeply understand yourself, channel the energy that you need no matter what's going on around you to show up every day being your best self. So, some of the things that I did during this snowcation is I channeled cooking and trying to find a lot of copycat recipes to make the most incredible food to feed my soul as well as my belly. Some of the things that my sister and I were able to enjoy were some blackened salmon sliders. They were really, really good. We jumped on a couple of TikTok trends by making lasagna soup as well as the southern fried cabbage. Absolutely amazing, really amazing. And then one day I had a hankering for some tomato basil soup as well as a grilled cheese sandwich. And I want to give you a hint. If you do have any Kroger's around you, Kroger's has their own bread that is croissant bread. So if you love croissants like I do, you can go to Kroger's and pick up a loaf of croissant bread, and you can use it for French toast, grilled cheese, and it is absolutely amazing. They even have the kind that is cinnamon flavored. So I show you these to say that it doesn't matter where you are, what you're going through, or what's happening around you. You control your response. You control your response. So when you come in contact with things, people, and circumstances and situations, remember you control your response. Now, I want to say that in the news, I've been seeing a lot of food recalls. Everything from fresh food, meats. I mean, it's just been absolutely ridiculous. And it's almost feel as if I'm being punked because I'm going, oh my God, is all of this stuff that bad? What is really happening? What is really going on? So, I thought this would be a really great time to tell you guys about my garden. So, I've been desiring to have a garden, but anybody who knows me know I think through things and sometimes I make them more difficult than they have to be instead of just jumping in. So, this time I just kind of jumped in because one thing that human design has taught me is that I have a profile, and this profile is how I show up in the world and how people see me. So my profile is a 1 3. The one relates to my desire to investigate, have a good understanding, and be able to move in confidence because I have an idea of how things will work out. The 3 relates to my trial and error. I like to take things for a trial. I like to see how they're going to work out and then tweak it as necessary in order for it to be what I need for it to be. So I liken myself unto a AI program of sorts. So I approached gardening for several reasons. One, because I wanted to have access to better foods and make it really easy for me to go and get the things that I like and enjoy that will be right in my backyard. Also, it is very therapeutic to be outside in nature, and it acts as a grounder of sorts and kind of flushes out the loud noise of the world, the loud noise of whatever is going on in your life, and it brings you to a point of being centered. So I do enjoy my garden. And what you see before you are just some things that I started out with. And I wanted to make sure that I planted food that I liked as well as food that was fall and winter friendly. So I have some collards. I have expanded it to cabbage as well as garlic. And I was thinking that I did start off with basil and learned very quickly basil does not like the cold, which is fine because I do love some fresh basil. It smells amazing, absolutely amazing. And I say this for you, find those things. I'm giving you permission to find those things that you enjoy, that you've always put off for another time, and go do them now. Also, I'm encouraging you to think about your food source. If you desire, you've always wanted to do a garden, there are several ways that you can do it, and mine is really simple. I do not have a raised garden bed. I actually went over to Firehouse Subs because I learned that they sell their buckets, which are food grade buckets. So make sure if you're doing a garden with buckets that your buckets are food grade. They do food grade buckets, or they have food grade buckets that their pickles come in, and they sell them for $3. That is a fundraiser for their nonprofit. So you can go get those. I have a couple. And I also learned as I joined a gardening community that they have what is called grow bags. And grow bags, you can actually, they come in various sizes. The ones that I have are actually 10-gallon, and you can get them as large as you need. And people are actually growing blueberry trees or however they're grown. They're growing trees in them because they have the capacity to do so. So if that's something that you look forward to doing, those are nice, easy, cheap ways so you don't have to go out and buy a lot and do a lot. So if you want to get started, get started. But make sure that you and your family have access to good food that not only nourishes your belly, but your soul. Now, I'm also a part of another community where I've learned about community supported agriculture programs, and they're called CSA. These programs are in neighborhoods that have farms around them. So check your neighborhood to see if they have a CSA program where I think it's like a subscription of sorts where they provide you with fresh vegetables and fruits every week. And I think that's absolutely amazing. So if you're looking for ways to diversify what's at your table and you're looking for ways to find things that are grown in the earth and that are closer to the earth, these are all viable options. And I think the biggest piece I want you to take away from this, aside of making the best of wherever you are and turn your lemons into lemonade, join communities. Find you communities that help to develop you as well as fill the gaps or the holes that you may find in your life. They're simple, they're easy, they're free, and that's how I turn my social media from being something that overwhelms me into something that uplifts me. Okay, so let's get started and talk about what you came for. So, what is human design? Let's start with the basics. Human design is a system that combines ancient wisdom with modern science to create a personalized map of your energy, a blueprint for how you're designed to navigate life and the world around you. It's like getting an instruction manual you wish you had when you were born. That instructional manual that you need to cohabitate with your significant other. That instruction manual you need to understand and learn to live and love with your in laws. And that instruction manual you need to understand and help your children to become the great people that they are designed to be. Now, this pulls from four main systems: astrology, I Ching, Kabbalah, and the chakra system. These ancient traditions are blended with modern science, like quantum mechanics and genetics, to give an incredible, detailed picture of who you are energetically. The results of your human design chart is also called a body graph. This chart shows how energy works, how you make decisions, and where you might be most influenced by the world around you. Now, here's the key takeaway: it is completely unique to you. Your chart is completely unique to you. No two charts are exactly alike. So, one of the first things you'll learn in human design is your energy type. And when I learned my energy type, this is what really drew me into human design back in 2020. These are broad categories of how your energy works and interacts with the world. There are five energy types. They are manifestors, generators, manifesting generators, projectors, and reflectors. Let's break them down briefly. Manifestors. This group of people is 9% of the world's population. They are initiators. They are here to get things started, to blaze trails, and to make things happen. If you're a manifester, you're designed to act independently and follow your inner urges. Generators. This is the largest population of the design types. 37% of the world's populations are generators. They are builders. They have consistent energy devoted to the things that they love. Their key is to respond to what lights them up rather than forcing things to happen. Manifesting generators. Very personal to me because I am a manifesting generator. 33% of the world's population join me in being a manifesting generator. These are hybrids of manifestors and generators. They are multi passionate, moving fast, and need the freedom to pivot and try new things. This is so me. If you ever take a look at my resume, you'll see that I have had several different types of jobs. Not that I can't keep a job, but when I got bored and I felt like I have had accomplished what I needed and wanted to accomplish, then I moved on to the next thing, which is so in line with manifesting generators' energy. Now let's go to projectors. 20% of the world's population are projectors. Projectors are the guides of our world. They're here to see things from a higher perspective and direct energy efficiently. But they need to wait for invitations to share their wisdom. And last, but certainly not least, 1% of the world's population are reflectors. Reflectors are the mirrors of our society. They're here to reflect back the health of our environment and our communities. They're incredibly unique and thrive when they are in the right surroundings. Did any of these descriptions of the five types remind you of yourself or someone that you know? And for me, I can say that I have become so familiar that when I see people on social media, I can have a idea of who they are and can kind of say what type they might feel more comfortable or fall in. So I want you to think about it. Which one are you? If you're not sure, that's not a problem at all. I'll be able to show you how you can get your chart absolutely free, and I will drop a link in the comments as well as post one here on the screen so that you'll know how to go and get your chart so that you can start learning about you and giving yourself some self care. Okay, so let's talk about why your inner authority matters. Now that you have a sense of the energy types, the next piece of this puzzle is your inner authority. This is the most important part of your chart when it comes to making decisions. Your inner authority is your body's way of saying, yes, this is right for me, or no, this isn't. This is how you tap into your intuition and make choices that are aligned with who you are. For example, if you have an emotional authority, you're designed to ride your emotional waves and wait for clarity before making decisions. And I raise my hand because I am an emotional authority. And for those of us who are, because I have come in contact with quite a few people, the waves can get just as rocky and just as high as what you see in an ocean, and they can become just as calm as what you see in an ocean. So, a couple of days ago, I went to check the mail and I received a letter from my mortgage company. And my mortgage company was giving me notification that they were selling my mortgage to another company. And when I read the letter, I looked at the new company I was going to. It was the name of a person and it just said Mr. Cooper. It didn't feel right. It didn't sit right, especially because I feel like we are experiencing scam culture at the highest level I've ever seen in my life. So I'm always on alert to ensure that I am not passively making decisions. So this sent my emotional waves into overdrive. I was anxious, I was confused, I was angry. And so, what I have begun to tell myself as I notice how I make decisions, Nolitha, this is not anything that you have to decide today. You have time before you have to make decisions. So, disengage. And that's exactly what I did. I went to go do something else and I came back to it later. And once I came back to it later, I relied on my profile, which is 1 3. Remember, one for Nolitha means, and one for anybody, means that you are an investigator, and three means that you go through a trial and error period. Period. So I did investigate. I found out reputable information about the company. And so I feel better about moving forward with the company. But that is just an example of how deeply I understand how I make decisions. Now, another example is if you have sacral authority, and I've had the pleasure of working with quite a few people who have sacral authority, and most of them are generators. You get a gut feeling if you are if you are a sacral authority. A physical, uh-huh, or a physical, uh-uh. And this is physically in your gut, and this is what guides you. There are several different types of authority that we will explore, and we'll explore them in depth in future episodes. The next key here, when you start listening to your inner authority, decision making becomes so much easier. You stop overthinking and you start trusting your natural process. All right, so let's do a mini recap. You've had an opportunity to hear about what human design is. You've learned about the 5 broad energy types that are within human design. And you've had an opportunity to learn about inner authority. So, let's talk about how human design can transform your life. This is how it all comes together. Here is the magic of human design it gives you permission to be authentically yourself, to be who you are, no judgment. It shows you where you have been conditioned by society, your family, the culture, your community to be something that doesn't feel right to you. And it helps you to realign with your true nature. When you start living according to your design, everything changes. And I say this from experience. You stop pushing against resistance and start experiencing a natural, peaceful flow of life. You'll notice that decisions feel more natural, your relationships improve, and life feels lighter. And with everything going on around us, who could not benefit from life feeling lighter? I know I can. And I know a lot of you can as well embrace life that feels lighter. Because when you do, it's like coming home to yourself. All right, that's your crash course in what is human design and how it works. If you're ready to explore your own chart, make sure that you click on the link, go to the link, type the link in to get your free body graph, to get your free human design chart. Take a look at your energy type and your inner authority and start reflecting on how these may show up in your life. And if you're really feeling inspired, I love to hear about it. Share your inspiration with me on social media, or you can send me a message. I love to hear what you're thinking, and I'm here to support you as you start this journey. Thank you for coming over and accepting the invitation. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe so that you don't miss our next episode. We'll take a deep dive into inner authority in our next episode and how to start using it. Until then, remember, you have all the answers you need within you. Let's uncover them together. See you in the circle.